Alright, part 3 of Secret Window in-depth horror discussion review. Alright, so we left off. So freaking, he gets his freaking dog killed. Or no.
Yeah, he gets his dog killed, and that's when freaking John Turturro Shooter's character's stalking him at night, and he's freaking afraid.
And no, it's the other night, freaking with the mouse. No. So he talks him there, freaking after with the whole shovel thing, and then freaking he wakes up that next morning, eating Doritos,
nacho cheese, and it's like the shot of the boat in the lake. No, and the phone was unplugged all night, so he doesn't talk to him, and so he has some privacy to hit the bull or something.
And it freaking rings right.
As soon as he plugs in the phone, it starts ringing, and it's like his wife.
She's like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "Quiet down, Amy. What do you want?"
And that's when she tells him about their house being on fire.
Someone burned down our house, and he's like, "What? Someone burned down our house?"
Then it cuts to the crime scene, and it's just like a buttload of extras, like the Dark Knight style.
It's a whole bunch of extras, like standing
dressed
around.
up as firefighters, even though they're actors.
And then freaking they're
standing around a fake burnt fire scene,
totally
and then set up like a movie.
The town fireman's like, "You guys more than Mrs. Rainey?" And then freaking. And they're like, we're the owners.
We're the owners. We're the owners. We are Mr. and Mr. Rainey.
He's like, "You don't own it anymore?"
No, then then the firefighter comes up, and then Ted's the only one that shakes his hand. It's hilarious. They make Ted like a total meathead. They make you hate him.
His wife's Amy's
He's the most gullible white American guy, which is probably about 60% of like the white Americans. Literally.
Amy's like, "I'm sorry about all this," and then Ted's like, "Yeah, me too."
You guys got enemies. You got them.
Yeah, the cop's like,
total actor.
Extra. It's like a total actor cop. And he's like, all right.
Total Fed line.
He's like, "All right."
That he thought about for the whole night when he got hired.
We're just gonna skip right to this part. Enemies, yeah.
He totally overthought the line.
All right, and he's like,
and overacted.
And Ted's like, "No, not a soul." And freaking, and then Johnny Depp's like, "You mind if I answer one of these, Ted?"
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
I got it.
He's like, "Yeah,
I'm Johnny Depp, of course.
I got an enemy."
And then it cuts to the lawyer scene, and it's like some
cuts to
white
the insurance
bitch.
company, and she's like,
I was divorces.
She's like, I was poking around the site.
It's totally normal.
She was like, I was poking around the site, and she's like, "Oops, I broke one of my rules. I don't want to call it a site. It's not a site. It was a house, your house, and I'm sorry for your loss."
It's the gayest line there. Why'd they put that character in
then she's like, "Here's a list of your items, to freaking go through because of the divorce. The stuff that's, covered by the insurance company." And then freaking they're all looking at it, and freaking Amy's wife like puts it in the middle, and then a little bit over for them all to see.
And then Ted's like scooching up his chair like
to look at the list, and then freaking Johnny Depp's like, "All right, you're rubbernecking." And he's like, "I hardly consider what I'm doing is rubbernecking." And he's like, "No, what you're doing is rubbernecking. He's rubbernecking." And then
my concern is hardly can be considered.
Nah, and then the freaking insurance company lady's like, "Actually, the law says you don't have any right to look at it." And then he's like, "We usually look away and wink at something like this, but
it's like a flight. That bitch is like a flight attendant, like at an airport, like from like Home Alone or something. That's what I think it is."
No, then Johnny Depp's like, "Yeah, Mr. Rainey minds a lot."
Anyway, so it's like the elevator
He's like, "I guess
scene.
I'll take a couple laps."
And they put another
the
token like minority character in there. It's like a Jamaican.
Oh yeah, with like his music blasting, like wow,
cornrows.
Wow. And then freaking right when the door opens up, like he just walks out and cuts him off, like he's rude.
Oh, this is when
he's a rude dude.
This is an important scene. No, they talk about his wife mentions the other time where
he plagiarized.
Mort Rainey did plagiarize.
She's
and
like,
paid off the guy.
"He didn't do this," and he's like, "No, I gave the guy everything I had." He's like, "It was the only time, and I never done it after."
So anyway, she's like, and he's just like, "Did you tell Ted? Oh my God, you told that meathead Ted."
He's like, "Did you tell Ted about freaking me?"
And then Ted walks in, and that's when he's just like, let's take a walk, Mort." And then they're walking down New York City.
Johnny Depp's like, "I'm in trouble," and then they walk out, and he's just like, "You're a dick." Johnny Depp says,
and then it's like a jump scare when he's like creeping in on him with the bus going by.
No, this is very good. No, this is another good
what
thing.
His line?
No, this is another good thing for the thriller because he's like, no, Ted's yelling at him. And freaking, the tension's building up between the two characters, and then right when he freaking snaps at him, the last line, freaking the car, freaking zooms by, and it's freaking like, zoom, and it freaking, adds that freaking good thrill to it. And then he's like, "You got what I'm saying between us?" And Johnny Depp's like, "Yeah, where you coming from, Ted?"
"Where we from, Teddy?"
And he's like, "Tennessee."
And he's just like, I thought it might be Mississippi.
He's like, long way from there.
Nah.
Little place called Shooter's Bay.
With like his coffee that he bought.
With like his coffee. With
that he
like
bought
2
from
sugars,
some Arab down the road.
1 cream.
And a little bit of ball hair from his freaking hands that he hasn't washed.
Alright, anyway, so then it cuts.
So he goes back home, and the black guy
cuts back home, and you know, and he's scared again because the black guy's not there. He's like, "What the heck?" Got to check the place out. He goes in there, and then the phone rings.
The black guy's at the motel in his drawers, like, and he's paying him $500 a day.
Yeah.
He's watching like cable porn.
Yeah, when
Johnny
Depp first shows up at his house, he's like, "Man, $500 a day." He's like, "Where are you when I need you?" And then the phone rings, and it's him.
He's like, "I talked to your boy Greenleaf."
He's like, "I checked out the place an hour ago. It's good."
He said. He's
like, "Yeah."
Oh, I didn't even go by hers like the other day. Then he starts getting nervous. He's like, "Yeah, I was there." So I said, "No, I didn't even go there."
Yeah, he's like, somebody scared him shitless.
So then Mort
somebody got to him.
So then
before
Mort
us.
starts thinking Ted hired Shooter to rough him up so that they get the divorce.
Yeah, he's like Amy's Ted. He's
so
like,
then it's like at night.
It's all tied together. And freaking and then he's like, yeah. So the black
no. Then it
guy's
cuts to at night, and this is an important scene too. This is when he was like, it was a good ending because he did read Shooter's story, and it is a better ending than his story. Because Mort Pry was just drunk and only.
Hold on, we still gotta say though. You know, he agrees to meet with the black guy.
It implies
because they both want to talk to Tom Greenleaf.
Yeah.
And freaking get him to squeal on because they think that freaking Shooter got to him and made him not talk. So anyway, he's like, meet at Stivers, the local bar at 9 a.m. He's like, all right. And he's like, bring your 6-gun, Pilgrim.
Shut up now. Can we do that, Mr. Creepshow?
Yeah, go ahead, JD. 2005. Go ahead.
Wow.
You got balls.
You got nipples. You got bitch tits.
All right, going.
You totally made me lose my train of thought.
What do you mean? It's another part where freaking he's like, it's a good ending.
Yeah, that's when he first says it was a good ending.
Cuts to him going to sleep that night, and he's like, it's a good ending.
Implies that he kind of like found his story and just read half of it and just stole the concept of it, but didn't read the ending. And so he fucked up his ending. So Shooter's pissed off that he fucked up his ending. And that's when he does Lockjaw for like the first time too. They show
he's
that.
He's on Uppies.
So anyway, what?
Reckoning from a Dream. When she's moving the mouth up and down. She's on Uppies. He's on Uppies.
So then he wakes up in the middle of the night because he sleeps like a dog. So he wakes up at all hours of the night.
Yeah, he wakes up.
And he finds his keys gone.
Oh yeah, no. He wakes up the next morning. And freaking the keys are gone.
Oh, it's the middle of the night still because it's like dark as fuck.
And freaking, and then freaking he goes in the.
Oh, it is the next morning. I think.
He goes in the. Wow, what an idiot! So he goes to the car, and he's like, okay.
Say that to me?
He's like, I don't want to do freaking like He puts like his sleeve over his hands because he doesn't know about like the freaking fingerprints and all that. No, so he goes to the car and he sees like the Pall Malls and he's like, Pall Mall, cracker bastard.
and finds his hat in there too.
Yeah, his hat's just laying on the front porch or some random reason.
So then he goes to the diner that they were gonna meet.
So he puts so he bag and gags his hat.
That's when it's a total freaking and he is using like crime scene.
He puts his hat in the trash bag and he goes.
That's
to the bar.
when he sees the extra like stocking cigarettes behind there, and he's like, "Would you like a pack?"
Oh yeah, he sees
that
the white
line
kid.
Exactly.
He's
like, I don't smoke.
Johnny Depp's seeing the cigarettes, staring him down.
For some reason, he doesn't want anyone to know that he smokes cigarettes, not weed. Like, figure that.
It's one of those people,
He's got to maintain a white reputation.
No, he's got a good reputation.
Even though in the '60s, 85% of men
he's got a good reputation of being an author. He's got to help it. You got balls for saying that.
You got Mikey Lives.
Alright, so he freaking,
So that's when he runs in, so he drives away and he runs into Ted.
Yeah, he asks the diner later, he's like, hey, does a New York cop guy come in here? And she's like, nope, doesn't ring a bell. And he's like, maybe he overslept. So he goes out.
And he runs into Ted at the gas station.
Yeah, he's driving back home.
Buddy?
He's driving back home and he sees Ted at the gas station. He pulls in and he's like, where's your buddy? And freaking Ted's like, I came alone. And he's like, oh yeah?
And he brought the divorce paper and he's just like, listen, you mother effer. He's just like, I buried my dog, sir.
He's like, listen, I buried my dog. And he's like, so why don't you, this whole situation is going on. He's like, yeah, it's a little bit my fault. And he's just like, yeah. He's like, you got that right. He's like, we gotta settle this now.
So then, so he doesn't want to sign the divorce papers, obviously. He's like, send him to my lawyer. And anyway, so he returns home. That's when every time he returns home, the phone starts reading exactly. That's like a plot hole up the hole. It's like every time he returns home, the second he returns home, the phone starts ringing. I guess it's because he doesn't answer the phone. Right?
Yeah,
it's
so
usually
frickin'
always
it's done,
ringing.
It's done with the Teddy scene.
reality.
He gets back home, and then he gets a call from
Shooter to meet up. And he shows them.
Yeah, Shooter answers.
Shows up
Shooter
and it's Tom Greenleaf's Bronco, like at the edge of this cliff.
Yeah, he's like, meet me at 4 o'clock, and he's wow. Okay, go ahead.
And he walks up and it's just like he sees
balls.
Tom and he's just like
JBM 2005 keeps rushing me. He's like, shut up. He's like, go.
He
doesn't give me a chance.
All
Alright,
sometimes,
so go.
Elman, wow.
Yeah.
You just call me out like that?
No, I'm saying
hey
go.
guys, I want you to calm down here, Just stop the hostility.
Wow, let's go.
That's what someone's saying on YouTube
So
right now.
Shooter freaking says, meet me at the freaking, at the freaking,
No, so he
woods.
sees Tom
He meets you in the
Tom
woods.
Greenleaf's dead body in his Bronco, and he's got Tom Greenleaf shit breath.
Yeah.
That's where we left off.
No. So he sees Tom
Sees them
Greenleaf,
both dead.
No, with the screwdriver in his head, it's pretty tight. And then he sees the black guy in the back with the axe in his head, and you're like, oh. And then freaking Johnny Depp looks up and for the added thrill,
Charles S. Dutton, the black guy.
he looks up and he sees like a squirrel staring him down. And it's like like looking at him. Freaking
Just
Johnny
for depth.
Johnny Depp passes out and he freaking falls asleep. So then he wakes up and John Shooter's just standing there and he's like, wow. He's like, you've been sleeping on your dang leg. And even Johnny Depp's trying to get away, tripping, falling down. And he's just like, I wanted to move you, but I didn't want to wake you.
And so Shooter framed him for the freaking murder. He convinces an author that
he's like, I connected you to more of the murders than you think. He's like, whose screwdriver do you think's in his
his mind
head?
to get Johnny Depp to freaking cover up for him.
To get rid of the bodies.
Even though he would have just gone to the police. He even mentions that, but he still did a convincing job.
No, this is when he says the line. He's like, you have your head in the noose and your feet in Crisco. He's like, if you don't, get rid of.
And he's just like, I have the magazine. I have the fucking magazine.
He's like, that can't be.
And he's just like, if you have that story, I'll turn myself in.
He's like, maybe I am crazy.
Or I'll bring.
He's like, if it is true, then
I'll bring a wrath higher than a fire and a
no. But he's like, yeah, if it ain't true,
and a high wind.
No, he's like, if it ain't true, I will burn everything in your life like a high cane feel and a high wind.
Who wrote that?
It's a pretty good line. And he's like, all right, well, meet me at 4 o'clock.
When you're baked.
He's like, meet me at 4 o'clock, with the magazine. He's like, all right, because he's going there. He's going to the UPS, the mail place to pick up at 3.
So then this when he drives off the Bronco off the cliff, and it's badass.
Oh,
cliff
this
that
is
they
iconic
chose.
shot. It's like a big old
and his
cliff.
watch gets stuck. It's pretty good suspense when he's doing it.
Oh yeah, it's pretty scary.
Looks like we're gonna have to do 4 parts of Secret Window because we love this movie so much. We love a bunch of scenes, so we have to talk about this in depth. So just bear with us throughout this. Wow, did you really just say that, JBM?
Yeah, you're
wow,
emotional.
you got that out. Wow.
Well, okay.
No
so,
way.
anyways,
beautiful scenery, by the way.
Oh, it's awesome at this part when he's dumping the body, it goes down, freaking his watch gets busted in there. So dude, there's so many ways the cops could pin this to him. I don't know how the ending.
And Elmid's got lipper breath, by the way.
Wow. Just tell him, huh? All right. So, anyways,
dude, we're putting the cards on the table.
No, so he freaking goes back home. No,
you got sweaty armpits and lipper breath.
We'll finish up this part in part 4 here of the in-depth discussion horror review of Secret Window. Go to part 4.
Nate Dunning.